The world needs B2K.
B2K's breakup was a huge shock to their fans.
Boys for Life Tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Live from the Bill Ford Tough Studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Bill Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're as tired of watching 33-year-old Harrison Barnes cook the Grizz as much as I am, because I'm tired of it. I've had enough of that. Happened again last night, so the Grizzlies' 3-game winning streak is over. They suffered a loss to the Spurs of San Antonio. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, about 20 minutes from now, I'm going to talk to Chris Vernon. He's the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. And, buddy, I got a lot of stuff to talk to him about. Obviously, the Grizzlies. But, like, Chris Paul just got sent home from Atlanta by the Clippers.
What the hell happened there?
I mean, I don't know, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Atlanta, and Chris Paul's, like, on Instagram, like, just got told I'm being sent home. Peace out.
And it was a very curt explanation from the Clippers, too, so.
What in the world?
Interesting.
He's a franchise legend.
Maybe not so much. Maybe he thinks he still is, and that's why this happened. I got a feeling.
What a weird deal. I'll pick Vernon's brain about that. We'll do it in the next segment. Finish talking to Chris Vernon. We'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers will return to the court tonight. New Orleans will provide them with an opponent. We'll get you ready for that in about 40 minutes. The Memphis football program is still searching for its next coach. Jerry Mack, a Memphis native, is among the names getting a lot of attention. We'll spend a little time on that in just a bit. The college football playoff rankings updated last night. We'll discuss where Ole Miss landed. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Fun night of college basketball on Tuesday. UConn over Kansas in Fog Allen. North Carolina with the Rupp beat Kentucky. Duke over Florida. Tennessee got upset at Syracuse.
Damn.
We'll bounce through Tuesday night's schedule of college hoops. We'll do that in the third segment. And Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick are both on the Hall of Fame ballot in 2026. That's going to be awkward. They're going to end up getting inducted into the Hall of Fame together. And they don't like each other.
I hope they have to go on stage together.
I hope they have to pretend to like each other publicly. We'll get into that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know that we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 22 of a scheduled 82, it was played last night in San Antonio. It did not go well for the road team, especially not in the fourth quarter. Final score, Spurs 126, Grizzlies 119. The Grizz actually led by a point going into the fourth. They were up with about 4 minutes to play, but they were outscored 29-21 in the final 12 minutes, and they lost the game by 7. Big Bet Bennett, I know you watched it. Your thoughts?
I just, we talked yesterday, and you said, we're playing with house money because we've already won 3 games on this road trip, and we obviously would have been ecstatic to have a 3-1 road trip, right? And we got that. I don't know if I share the sentiment as much. I'm obviously still feel great that we have a 3-1 road trip. It's just the one good team that you play, at least record-wise, you lose to at the end, and I thought it was a winnable game. I thought they could have gotten that one last night, and just the fourth quarter was just kind of disastrous.
Well, I mean, it was a winnable game.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the 3-1 road trip. We both said before it started that we would take that. So, let's not have revisionist history here. But I was only happy with the 3-1 road trip before I knew that it was going to be a 3-1 road trip.
Right.
Once you got to 3-0 in the first 3 and you're up 3 points with 4 minutes to play, I'd kind of at that point, I'm like, well, let's go ahead and make it a 4-0 road trip.
Yeah.
And then that GD Harrison Barnes.
That's insane.
That son of a bitch.
That is insane. How is that happening?
Why does he do that? He every time he plays the Grizzlies, he's 33 years old now.
Yeah.
And every time he plays the Grizzlies, he treats them like they're Virginia Tech.
You know what it reminds me of?
He's still at North Carolina, young and bouncy, and we're like Virginia Tech.
It reminds me, and Harrison Barnes, obviously better career, better player, but it does remind me a little bit of what Kevin Martin used to do to the Grizzlies back in the day. Just every time he played the Grizzlies, he would cook them. It did not matter what version of the Grizzlies. It did not matter how good of a season he was having. He would always cook the Grizzlies. And so it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Because, dude, I mean, he looks like prime Golden State Harrison Barnes out there against us. It's wild.
He's averaging on the season 13.3 points per game. But last night against the Grizzlies, he got 31, and previously against the Grizzlies, he got 23. So
he just likes playing the Grizzlies.
He likes playing the Grizzlies as much as the Grizzlies like playing the Kings.
Yes, you see that in the league. There are guys that just certain opponents they get up. I mean, Zach LaVine loves playing the Grizzlies. He's had a great game against the Grizzlies his entire career. So you see that sometimes.
Tough situation.
Yeah, I hated that.
Hated to see that myself. Jaren Jackson took 9 shots, missed 6 of them, finished with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 turnovers. So everybody's mad at him again. Are you mad at him again? Are you mad at Jaren again?
It is the wildest relationship between a fan base and a player in the league. No, I'm not. Listen, the only thing that you're going to have up and down games with Jaren. It's just the kind of player. We've watched him for 7 years. You're going to have bad nights. You're going to have great nights. We've just seen this a lot, right? So, and he's had a good road trip leading up to that point. He's been playing well. Last night it was bad. The only thing that just bothers me, and again, this is something we've seen a lot too, is, man, if you're going to get in foul trouble, make them count. Make them be fouls that matter, like trying to block shots at the rim. It's just... a lot of them are just, what are you doing? It's just grabbing guys, running to the rim.
It's on the wrong side of the court.
Yeah.
It's reaching when you shouldn't be reaching. It's the ticky tack. I hesitate to use words like dumb or stupid because he's obviously not a dumb guy. He's not a stupid guy. He's a bright young man.
They're frustration fouls.
They're just there's some of that, and it's just I promise you could put him in film and he'd go, I shouldn't have done that.
He knows.
Of course he does. But here's the problem. This is year 8. You said this exact same thing in year 1.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has said that when it comes to this very specific aspect of him as a basketball player, these are things people have said since he entered the NBA. And gotten better, sure. But been alleviated? No. It's still a constant thing. Not as constant as people make it out to be, but it's still one of those things that's just, it's in your head at all times. And then when you see it, it becomes increasingly frustrating. And, obviously he's got to be better than that. And he had been lately, but it is kind of a roller coaster with him. Like he's going to, like Nikola Jokic doesn't have those type of games. And Giannis doesn't have those type of games. And LeBron in his prime doesn't have those type of games. And I guess when somebody is making this kind of money, people are like, if you're getting paid the same amount as this guy's getting paid, I don't know why. It's just a weird way the NBA salary structure is set up with max contracts. And the best player in the world, like, is oftentimes making similar money to the 30th best player in the world.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way it like, think of baseball. Think if the 30th best player in the world, whoever that is making the same money as Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. Like, they just don't. Spoiler alert, they don't. That's not the way it works. And so you're never like, well, this guy makes the same amount of Shohei, but he's not anywhere close to Shohei. But with the way there's max salaries and the way the NBA is structured, like, a guy who is not even an all-star might be making the same amount of money, big money, as the reigning MVP. And so then they constantly get compared to that, even though they're not that type of player. They just get paid that way, but they're not that type of player. And that's sort of where we are with Jaren. And like, you could just do a Google search or a Twitter search. Like, every game where he plays like that, somebody mentions that contract.
Yes.
It's a thing that man, what a blessing to get that contract.
For sure, but you got to carry it.
You got to carry it. And when you have games like that, people are going to remind you that in their mind, you're not earning the paycheck, which, some nitpicking here, semantics, but like, you hear that all the time. He already earned the paycheck.
Yes.
That's how he got it. Like, everything he did up until he signed that was him earning that paycheck.
Yes. And we've said this a million times, any team in the league's given him that contract.
Yes, that's the thing. Anybody would have paid him that same way.
Yep.
If you wanted to make him available tonight, there would be a market for him. It just is what it is.
Yep.
But one of the things he's going to have to understand, and I'm sure he does, is that when you have that type of contract and you couple it with this type of performance,
people are going to bring it up.
People are going to bring it up. I got good news, though.
What's up?
Clippers are coming to town. That's who's next.
Oh, thank God. They're in turmoil.
They are in turmoil. However much turmoil you think we were in here in Memphis, Tennessee early in the season, it doesn't really compare to the turmoil that has engulfed the Clippers. You know they're bad. You could just look at the standings and see that they're 5-16.
Which is why, and they missed Kawhi for most of the season because it was wild. Like, that game against them the other night, that did not feel like you were playing against a 5-16 team. That felt like a really competitive game. Yeah.
And yet they're bad.
Yes, they're bad.
Kawhi's playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They're bad. And then you get the incident last night, which I don't know if we have clarity on it yet. I'm eager to get Vernon in here and pick his brain about it a little bit. But like, what could have happened to where you in the middle of the night tell Chris Paul, you're no longer a part of this team?
Okay, I've got to think that what I said to you there at the beginning is they bring him in because you're a franchise legend, right? He's clearly at the end of his career. Didn't he say he was retiring after this season?
Yes.
I
don't know. It's certainly been reported that this is it for him.
Okay, and so doesn't it kind of feel like one of those situations where they bring you in during the season, you get there, and it's like, okay, I'm a franchise legend. We're struggling, so I'm gonna make my voice heard, but maybe they ain't trying to hear that. Well, that's what it kind of seems like to me.
But even that, your voice is heard. Let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, he popped off a little bit.
Yeah.
As a future Hall of Famer, franchise legend who's going through a 5-16 season, he let his voice be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, we got a point guard here who let his voice be heard. And they said, all right, you just sit down for a game and then come back. To end a man's career?
Yeah, and Vernon's going to know this better. Like, him and Harden had issues in Houston, right?
Well, yes. And here's the other thing about Chris Paul. I don't know this side of him. I've been around him a little bit because of grassroots stuff.
Yeah, and he's got his camp and stuff. Yeah.
Like you go to Peach Jam and he's just there.
Yep.
I mean, you just be in a restaurant. There's Chris Paul sitting next to you. You walk in the gym. There's Chris Paul, standing in the lobby. He's very. I admire this about him. Like he's not just writing a check. He's a little bit like Thaddeus Young. They're there. Like they're in it. Like LeBron is in it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they go and they spend real time with these kids. It'd be very easy to just give $1 million and buy some uniforms and plane tickets. But I have a better appreciation for the men who actually spend time with those kids.
Gigi went to his camp.
Yeah. And Chris Paul's like in it. He's like he knows the players and he's working with them. And so I've been around him a little bit, but I don't know him in any sort of meaningful way. But I remember the DeAndre Jordan free agency when he famously they locked him in a room or something. They wouldn't let him leave the house and. He was choosing between the Mavericks and the Clippers, and this is when it was Lob City and Blake Griffin and all. Like the Clippers were a thing, and I remember talking to. It feels like I was at a playoff game at FedEx Forum because you had a bunch of national NBA guys here in town, and I think maybe at that time it was already becoming clear that DeAndre Jordan was probably going to leave Los Angeles. And I just remember asking, it's one of those things where you watch it from a distance and then you get around the actual reporters and they're like, yeah, well, if you talk to so-and-so and so-and-so, you'll find out behind the scenes this type of stuff. So I'm just with them, probably at a pregame meal is the way I remember it. And it's just like, so what's going on with the DeAndre Jordan thing? Is he really going to, why would he leave this? And I don't remember who it was, but I remember this phrase. Why would he leave this? Was met with probably because he's tired of getting yelled at by that little MFer. And that was the reputation. Like Chris Paul is a little tyrant. He's just running around yelling at people all the time. Like he's hard to play with, or at least can be difficult to play with. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear that with limited playing time and a losing record, he might have popped off because he has a reputation of popping off. But in my head, I want to be clear, I'm talking about this all broke in the middle of the night, and there's no actual reporting that I've seen that provides any clarity about what happened here. But I would just assume it's got to be something more than that. But professional athletes pop off all the time. They told him to get out of here in the middle of the night. Go home. You're done. Release the statement. We'll work on getting him traded if he wants to be traded. We'll release him if we need to release it. But at 3 o'clock in the morning in Atlanta, Georgia, they said, "Go. You're done with this franchise." Think about if you heard this, because this would be something similar. Mike Conley's a free agent. He wants to play one more year. The Grizzlies need guard depth, which couldn't be more true.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, man, why don't you come home on a vet minimum contract, finish out your career here in Memphis where you had your best years. And he says, okay, let's do it. And he comes back here to, be a backup rotation piece, strong presence in the locker room, all that stuff. Grizzlies franchise legend Mike Conley coming back one more year in Memphis, and then he will retire at the end of the season. All right? And then you heard on December 3rd, during a road trip, the Grizzlies are in Atlanta, and Mike Conley's like, hey, I just been told I've been sent home. Peace out. And then by the time you woke up, the Grizzlies had released a statement saying, we want to thank Mike Conley for everything he's done, but we're done with him. That would be crazy.
And that's the interesting part to me is the Clippers did not say we want to thank Chris Paul for everything he's done. They literally said we are parting ways with Chris and he will no longer be with the team. We will work with him on his next step of his career.
Yeah. What causes
happened?
that?
Yeah.
What do you what would somebody have to do to be sent home, discarded as a franchise legend the way the Clippers just did Chris Paul? It's got to be more than just popping off.
I bet we find out.
I want to recklessly speculate.
I know you do. I can tell you're trying to recklessly speculate here.
I want to recklessly speculate.
I mean, it gets wild in Atlanta. We know, you know.
I do know.
Everybody says it's wild in Atlanta.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to recklessly speculate a little bit. Let's get Vernon here.
Let's do it. Let's let him do it.
Let's let Vernon recklessly speculate.
Good.
All right? He's the one with the NBA podcast.
Yeah.
Let's get him in here and let's let him recklessly speculate a little bit. Chris Vernon up next.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dome Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dome Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we're leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringsider packages on sale next Friday.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. On Wednesdays in the second segment, I am joined by Chris Vernon, host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. Before we get to the Grizzlies, let's talk about this Chris Paul situation. Wild. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like, well, you know, what time was it on the West Coast? They were in Atlanta. It was 3 o'clock.
I mean, you're still out at 3 in the morning in Atlanta.
Of course, right.
I mean, they probably told him at the club.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, man, you're gone.
He walked in from the club with like 3 baddies.
Yes,
and they were
gone.
like, hey, before you go up there and have the best night of your life, just know when it's over,
Yeah.
you know how we put, you know how
I
they
mean,
put,
Atlanta, come on, bro. They're all out at 3 in Atlanta. He was not asleep.
No.
He didn't get woken up.
I always tell the story. Kelly and I were in Miami a long time, several years ago, probably about a decade ago now. And we were staying at a nice hotel, and it happened to be the same hotel the Atlanta Hawks were staying in. They were playing the Heat like on a Sunday afternoon. So on Sunday morning, we just got up, went down to the lobby of this hotel, and had got a cup of coffee, just sitting there. And I am not exaggerating. Within 30 minutes of sitting there, I watched 6 players come down through the elevator and walk out with the baddest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I'm sure.
And it was like, I was like, yeah, that's what it's like in Miami, and Atlanta is similar.
And then you went and bet $1,000 on the Heat.
Yeah, but
is that the rest of the story?
But that's a real thing. Like people,
Of course it is.
And then you get destroyed by the Miami Heat because they were all at home last night, and you were out till 6 in the morning.
Atlanta, Miami, Toronto, L.A.
Phoenix?
Some?
Yeah.
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 Certainly on Dylan's birthday.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was the one that Not only did we lose, that was Steven Adams' last appearance in a Grizzlies uniform ever. And that was not because Steven Adams was out. That was because Steven Adams, dove for a loose ball and crushed his knee. Yeah.
So what do you make of the Chris Paul thing?
I mean, look, how would I know except for what I just saw this clip going around Lou Williams on his show with Beetle and them. So, I mean, he knows everybody.
It's always him, somebody like him who's going to know exactly what happened.
He knows everybody
of
with the
course.
Clippers, and he said basically, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but Chris Paul bitches about the coaches, the players, and the front office, and the front office had enough.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, this already sucks. We don't need this. We're 5-17. We don't need a guy telling us how bad it is. We know.
But it's still that is. Correct me if this is a false comparison, but imagine Mike Conley comes back to Memphis for one more year, and he's going to retire at the end of the year, and we got him on a vet minimum, and he's supposed to be a locker room presence, backup point guard. Just nice having a franchise legend back in town. And then on December 3rd, the Grizzlies just disassociate from him in the middle of the night.
Obviously weird, but an entirely different situation.
Well, they're two different people.
Two different people, number one. No, number two, and more importantly, is you have a young team that is impressionable, and therefore Mike Conley's words would carry great weight with them. That roster has it's just a bunch of guys rolling their eyes at Chris Paul.
That's right.
Right? Blake Griffin was on Amazon, a show I quite like, with him and Dirk and Udonis Haslem and Taylor Rooks on the Amazon pregame show. And this was, 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And they were talking. And Blake Griffin said on this show that he would be the 5th oldest player on the Clippers. And I fell off my couch. Think about that.
Yes.
Been out of the league for a minute.
So that's all I'm saying.
Right.
A guy like Chris Paul, you ain't fixing nothing if you're Chris Paul. Chris Paul ain't rallying everybody and then going, guys, this is the way this needs to be done. This is what the commitment it takes. You've got to be here early. You've got to be getting extra shots in. You've got to be watching what you eat. You can't be out at the club until 3 in the morning. That kind of stuff resonates in a massive way with young players. With old players, they're like, shut up.
Shut up. Right. You could take Chris Paul, put him in a room with Javon Small.
Yes.
And maybe that's okay.
It has a profound impact. It does.
But Kawhi Leonard does not want to hear
or James Harden or Brook Lopez or everybody on their team is old as crap. It's like his peers.
The two things I know about Chris Paul is that he's an all-time great point guard, obviously. Yeah. But for lack of a better word, when you talk to people who live this life with him, he's an asshole. He could be hard to work with.
I don't know. Well, honestly, when I think about him, I think the two things that maybe this is just me. He is. I mean, that is a thing. But when he got traded to Oklahoma City and they had absolutely nothing,
right?
And he was a star player.
Right.
They had a ragtag group, and he drugged them to almost home court advantage and being super competitive when any other superstar would have said, I ain't going there.
Right.
That, number one.
I like that.
I loved it. Number two, go listen to SGA.
Right.
He swears by that guy. And still to this day.
Credits him.
Yes. And that's top 3 player in the league and reigning MVP, and a guy that has scored 20 points in 92 consecutive games. I mean, and when you ask him who has had the biggest impact on your career, he says Chris Paul. And it's not just on the court. It's how to navigate with a family, how to navigate when you're out of town, how I should take care of my body, how I should stretch, how I should eat, all that stuff. And it's okay, man, that tells me a lot when one of the greatest players in the world says the guy that's had the most profound effect on my career. And so I don't care if DeAndre Ayton thinks that Chris Paul is a jerk. DeAndre Ayton is a flake, right? Who that I have a tremendous amount of respect for says that stuff about Chris Paul? I don't know.
I would think.
I don't know.
I would.
Not nearly as many as the ones I don't respect say what they say about Chris Paul.
So maybe this is it. He can have a profound impact on a younger player.
Absolutely.
But you start yelling at people closer to your age with similar or better accomplishments, and they don't want to hear that from you.
No, especially, that team is all old.
Right.
Look at them.
Right.
They're old as crap. They don't have anybody young on that team. Who's young?
Yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr. isn't even young.
And they're about to lose their lottery pick to Oklahoma City.
And
they're the worst.
And like, there's now,
and they might just get mangled by the league.
Right. I mean, that's
a thing that could happen too.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and their coach is evidently at poker games with Chauncey Billups. I mean, it's a catastrophe.
Their coach,
all the way around.
Their coach is describes himself as best friends with everybody that got arrested. Okay,
just not great.
It's like if all my best friends got arrested.
I know. And then Lawrence Frank shows up to media day, and it's just Ramona Shelburne peppering him with Uncle Dennis and aspiration questions.
And he's just like,
season's about to start.
And he's like, we know the rules. Okay, yeah. I didn't ask you know the rules.
I know.
I'm asking if Dennis asked you for things in violation of the rules. Dennis knows the rules.
That just set a cloud over the whole thing.
Yes.
But I mean, when Pablo Torre's got 5 podcasts about you, it's probably not going to go your way.
No. That's why if I were Bill Belichick, I'd be like, hey, I love you to pieces, and I don't want to be a controlling boyfriend. Yeah. And I don't want to tell you how to be on social media.
Cool up.
But you got to stop tweeting Pablo Torre. Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. You're causing problems for everybody.
If
I ever caught Kelly tweeting Pablo Torre, I would take her phone. Mm-hmm. I would say, we don't need these problems. We don't need these problems. But here's there's now national columnists saying it's time to trade Kawhi Leonard. Just blow this whole thing up and be done with it. I know. Who would you?
You have to do a deal with the devil, man.
Right.
He's going to tell you. I mean, I love Kawhi Leonard as a player. Kawhi Leonard also pulled off something I have never seen in 25 years here. You were sitting next to me last year at the game. Mm-hmm. It's like a nip-tuck game at halftime. And we're not feeling that great about it. And he just doesn't come out in the second half.
Oh, God, yep.
Just doesn't come out at all. And nobody from Clippers PR puts out anything. Usually it's Zach Edey, head,
right, yeah.
Doubtful to
we
return
didn't see
or
anything,
whatever.
yep.
Nothing. And then they asked everybody after the game, and Russell Westbrook's like, I don't know why he wasn't out there. And Ty Lue's like, I'm done answering questions about this. And it's like, hold on, your best player just didn't walk out and also evidently didn't tell anybody he wasn't going to play the second half. That's the deal with the devil. He's going to do whatever he wants to do,
right,
whenever he wants to do it. And I just, with the salary, who wants that?
Yeah.
You have to. That's what you sign up for.
Right.
He's doing what he wants to do. If he wants to practice, he'll practice. If he wants to play, he'll play. If he wants to play the second half, he'll play. It's so weird.
What a mess.
It really is, but he just doesn't talk, so nobody cares.
He never says anything.
He never says a word.
That's why his laugh went viral, because it's
yes.
It was just a sound from Kawhi Leonard we didn't even imagine could come out of him. Spotty.
Right. Yes.
What a wild thing.
Who knows?
All right, let's talk Grizzlies.
Let me hear it.
Up 3 with 4 to play.
Oh yeah.
Up a point in the heading into the fourth.
No.
Harrison Barnes at the age of 33 decides to have a season high 31.
Yeah.
And it was just let a fourth quarter slip away again. Broadly speaking, whatever. It was a game you were supposed to lose for all the reasons you're supposed to lose a game, but it was gettable. And you didn't
for
get
sure.
it.
Both of them were.
Yeah.
When you got 11-0 run the last time you were there.
I think this one was 11-0 last time. This one was 16-6.
And it's honestly, it's all relative, right? So, I mean, you can look at it and you can go, hey, it's a last of a 4-game road trip,
right,
and, you weren't favored to win the game. But, again, it's all relative. And it's just the biggest issue that I sense from fans is the piling up of, dude, we never beat anybody with a winning record.
Right.
Why? We don't.
No, I mean, you don't.
We got to beat somebody with a winning record. Just break through, please.
And
beat somebody that has a record over 500. Just do it.
These are the types of things, if you remember, was it Josh Pastner for the longest time?
Oh, yeah.
Could never beat a top 25 team. And then that just becomes a part of...
It just becomes a thing.
Every time they talk about you,
and
they
so
mention that.
that's why it piles up, right? It was... immediately after they lost the game, somebody tags me on Tom Izzo is 1 in 23 versus over 500 teams, and it's like, all right.
We got it.
That's the annoying part. Now, obviously, infinitely more annoying is getting smoked by Harrison Barnes twice.
He's 33.
That's crazy. Come on. Seriously,
it's insane.
It's like career games. Like I always talk about if you were in a coma or like you just went overseas for several years and had no acknowledgement of the NBA, and then you would have just watched last night and you'd have been like, who's the best player on the floor?
Right.
That's the problem. That's twice that we played San Antonio, that if someone who knew nothing about basketball was watching, they would think Harrison Barnes is like an all-NBA caliber player.
Last night was a season high, 31.
Of course it was.
He's scored at least 23 points in a game this season, only 3 times. Twice against the Grizzlies.
Who was the other one?
The other one was...
Wizards. Who?
Oh, the Rockets.
Oh!
He went out and got 24 against the Rockets early.
Yeah,
it's not a fluke.
No, he's standing in the corner, and they said, go ahead and shoot, Harrison.
Hey, we're going to let you. That is how he will pop off.
Of course it is.
You just stand over there, and they just decide to let you shoot it.
Unless he becomes the best player on the floor like last night.
Jaren, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 5 turns. It's tough.
That was terrible. It was terrible.
Like, we were joking about it. It's like I was like, Bennett, everybody's mad at Jaren again, but like this is his life now.
Absolutely, right? To whom much is given, much is expected.
Right.
And you can't have games like that.
No.
That's crazy. He is terrible. He's terrible. Turning the ball over, dribbling into traffic. Like, what? I don't understand it. I don't understand. I watched the guy have 26 a couple games ago, and it's like, when he gets out on an island, he's one of, statistically, the best isolation scorers in the world. And then you have these games like last night where it's like brain lock and he's fouling and he's like, it's just a mess. It's a mess, right? And he can be so impactful on both ends of the court. But then you have, you just had some, it's odd. You have had some like huge duds. Like not like just like, oh, Jaren only had 11. It's like when he has been bad, it's been bad this year in a way that it typically has not been in the past.
Like 3 of 9 for 7 points is...
I mean, you're the best player on the team as currently constructed.
Right.
Should be.
Right.
I mean, you were a vote away from being all NBA. As much as Grizzly fans can be, down on Jaren Jackson Jr., he was considered the 16th best player or whatever in the NBA. I mean, he was great. He's great. Had a great season last year. And if it weren't for it all going to hell for the last 6 weeks of the season, he would have for sure been all NBA. And God forbid he would have gotten the 330. You think it's better? We've got him on a bargain, by the way.
I know.
$100 million less than what he should have cost.
Would you have given him the 330?
They would have. I'm sure. I mean, that's the price of doing business nowadays.
It's true. Like I think any team.
I think that's where you start. You got.
I don't know.
You got to. Okay, we can give you the 330, but like, does anybody think we need to be given 330?
I mean, anybody that makes All NBA gets it. Even Jaylen Brown got it. I mean, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But they got a bargain on him, so like, God forbid they would have had him for 330. This would have been, you can't have no 7 points. You get 330. You can.
No.
I mean, look, you shouldn't have 7 when you get 230 or whatever, but 330 is a different world.
He had 5 fouls. Zach Edey also had 5 fouls. It was a loss, so hard to celebrate it. But Edey, again, 19 and 15.
I mean, look.
What are we watching right now?
I think part of it is, and the other thing is, again, people can have their own opinions on strategy. I just get frustrated where I feel like, there needs to be this feel of, okay, I've maxed this lineup. I've maxed this out.
Right.
They've gotten me a 7-point lead. Let's go back to it.
Right.
I feel like we always stay with them 2 minutes too long.
Yeah.
And then by the time the guys are back in, it's tied or we're down 1 or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's like, if you just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I feel like more often than not against the good teams, I have felt like it has not hurt you against the bad teams, but it has happened against them too. And then the starters just come in and they can win the last 5 minutes, right? Last night, you're up by 7 on the road against a team with a winning record, and then you just left them in, and then the lead's gone.
Right.
And now now you're having to play heads up, and they've got one of the best clutch players. You know, De'Aaron Fox is going to get them in good situations and get them good shots down the stretch, right? So, and they have had a very, very good clutch record this year. You don't want to get them in that kind of a game. I would have taken my 7-point lead and said, hey, man, we got the most we can out of this one.
Right.
Now let's get back to our guys, and we'll see how it goes the rest of the way.
Because if you just look at the box score, no Grizzly player more than 30 minutes. You look at San Antonio, Harrison Barnes played 36, Champagne 35, De'Aaron Fox 31.
Well, and I think it's fool's gold that we get away with it against a bad team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm a believer. Like, listen, there's a million different ways.
I just think there's a feel to, hey, man, you know, there's about 2 minutes here where if if they've gotten you the lead or they've held on to this lead, let's move on. Let's get back to now. Now it's their job. Now you're giving it to your best players with a 7-point lead.
That's right.
We're consistently giving it to our best players in a tie or 1-point game, it feels like, or down 2 or down 4 by the time they get in. It's like, man, you could have just cut that one short. Like, you know what I mean? It's me and you at the blackjack table.
Right.
We should have just walked.
Right.
Sometimes you got to know, right?
Right.
But we stuck around. We should have won 350. We ended up winning 150.
Right.
Right? Because we stuck around 20 extra minutes. Should have just walked away. We should have just taken our win.
Yes.
Bro, if Cam Spencer and Jock Landale and that group have got you a 7-point lead, take it and go, right?
Right.
Move on.
Right.
That's what I would say. Like that's one of the frustrating things to me because now you're in one of those clutch games against a team that's better in the clutch.
And they're gonna have the best equipped player in that moment.
Right. You got a lot better chance if you're up 7.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so I just feel like we've stuck with them more often than not in these games against good teams. I feel like it's usually like 2 minutes too long, and by that time the lead's just gone.
Talk to me specifically about Zach Edey.
Yeah.
19 points, 15 rebounds. I ran the numbers yesterday, and if you just take out that game where he only played 6 minutes because Jokic hit him in the head, he's the best rebounder in the world by framing it in certain ways. He's clearly good. Like there's no that debate's over. Like how good is he? Is he an all-star level center right now?
I mean, obviously, he's probably not going to have enough games right, logged in. But, yeah, I mean, if you perform at that level, you got to be on a winning team and you got to have the numbers. But the more he plays, the better he has gotten. Yeah. And his hands look better this year. He looks more agile this year. And he has been just an absolute force. And, again, we talked about, individually how great he has been I think that's been the revelation. I was one that even when I was on with you, I said, it's not necessarily how much you bring individually, it's how it affects the group. And there's no question. I mean, just look at the numbers across the board. The assist numbers, they have been the best rebounding team since he has been inserted into the lineup. They are first in defensive rebounding, and they are third in offensive rebounding. Now, some of those are going to be because of the competition. There's no way around that, right? Like if you're playing lesser teams. But in those now, the sample size is now to 8 games, right? They have become a great rebounding team because of him. And, of course, his individual numbers are good. But, I mean, this was not a good rebounding team or not a great rebounding team by any means without him. And so I also think that you have seen other guys get freed up. Last night's Jaren performance notwithstanding, but look at what Wells has been since Edey has come back into the lineup. And some of that is also the lineup change and just stopping the madness of KCP and Wells as your 2 wings. But he has been, I mean, so much better than I think anybody could have even. Look, there's hardcore Edey stands that believed this was going to happen all the time. But one of the things that my concern was you had a coach that was going, play fast, play fast, play fast, play fast, all right, faster. In the 8 games that he has played, they're in the bottom 3 or 5
and they're
pace.
And
that's how they should do it because they got a 7'5" monster who gets if he doesn't get it, he tips it.
Right.
He's so much bigger and stronger than these guys.
And he just seals guys.
Yes.
And puts them on his back down there deep.
Also competes, so I think it raises the level of, I was saying this yesterday. We were talking about Dylan. For Dylan's faults, he does raise the collective competitive nature of your team because Dylan Brooks, the best compliment I could give him is that every single night he cares who wins and loses.
Right.
And that should be commonplace, but it is not.
No.
Zach Edey cares who wins and loses every night. Like, I think he's pissed when he loses, and I think he's happy when he wins. And a lot of guys are non-pulsed by the whole thing, right? Like, it's 82 games or whatever. But I think Zach Edey, he goes out. I don't think you'll ever see a game where we came in and go, Zach Edey dogged it.
Well, you see, I saw you guys.
You might see that on, and you might see that on Jaron, and you might see that on Santi, and you might see that on, there's a bunch of guys where it's like, man, they just didn't have it tonight, whatever. Like, he's not, guys like Dylan, guys like, when obviously Tony for so many years, they don't go through the motions. No. They never go through the motions. And Zach Edey never goes through the motions, and I think that affects everybody.
Like a couple nights ago, there's LeBron, JJ Redick's got to call a timeout because he's pissed off at LeBron.
He's going through the motions.
Yeah. And it's like, yo, man, you're the king, I got it. But this is not okay.
Sure.
And Zach, you would not see Zach Edey down 20.
You're just never going to see him go through the motions.
Right.
He plays as hard as he can. Like, he plays. Every single possession, he plays. And I think that kind of stuff has a profound impact on the group.
It's just kind of fun watching them.
It's fun. He's bigger than everybody.
Throw bounce passes down there. Like, it looks like old school basketball.
It's very, you know what? It's very, when I first came in, when I was first covering the league, I remember at one point, and I had been around Shaq, who is obviously a monster amongst men. But there was nobody bigger, and I was like, God, how does a human even look like this than Yao Ming?
Right.
And it is more Yao Ming-y to me, right? Where it's just like, bro, this dude is just bigger than everybody.
Right.
Like, Yao Ming would make, the other night, who were we playing? Who's got Precious now?
The Kings.
I mean, he made Precious look like a child.
Look little.
You stand next to Precious, he looks like damn Adonis.
Right. No.
It's
just a different deal.
He looked like a little kid standing next to Zach Edey, and it's like, God, this dude is so evil.
It's just like there was this one play last night where he just rolled and then posted, and he was so deep that by the time he caught it, it was just like a little hook with either hand. It's just he just has to lay it in.
I will give credit though. Luke Cornett held up. Luke Cornett would have 5 blocks last night. He was blocking shots.
And I was talking so bad about him.
He wasn't a piece of crap, was he?
No, he was okay good. Out there.
He had a good night last night.
All right, before I get you out of here, Zion Williamson, injured again. This sounds serious. Like he's going to be out for a while. I saw somebody tweet, but they were like, don't be surprised if Zion Williamson has played his last game in a Pelicans uniform. Do you think that's true?
I mean, anything's on the table since, they got new management, new coach, right?
Yeah.
Like if they were going to, would you pay him? You wouldn't pay him.
Everything about him is like.
You'd be out of the business.
I'd be out of the Zion business.
We're about to come paying time for these kind of guys.
Always hurt. And also there's off the court stuff that I just, there's nothing I ever hear about Zion Williamson that makes me think I'd want to be in the Zion Williamson business.
Yeah. You wonder if he's going to be able to, become if it's ever going to happen. Become what he should have become.
I don't think so.
Or if it's just going to be a sad story.
I think it's a sad story.
Where it's going to be like, God, he could have been amazing. But
you would think that whatever the wake-up call needs to be, should have come.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a contract year, and he just
watch him go somewhere else and be awesome.
I mean,
it would not be the most shocking thing in the world, right?
Just because, that situation is just so bad. I don't know. How much is... I think he's really hurt, obviously. I'm not saying that I don't think he's hurt, but, of all the times he set out, you just wonder. I don't know.
He is still when he's healthy and on a court, he can still dominate a basketball game.
Yeah, he can.
It's just that.
Oh God, that game winner he hit against Jaron, or game tire that he hit against Jaron. I mean, that's impossible.
Insane. Yeah,
and he just gets the ball. I mean, you are not stopping him from getting near the basket.
Right.
You might stop him at the summit.
Right.
But you ain't stopping him at getting to that spot.
He'll get where he's trying to get.
God, he's powerful.
He's going to get where he's trying to get.
Yep.
All right.
Two things real quick.
Okay, what you got?
First of all, super exciting. My old buddy Masterpiece coming in studio today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He is the
original No Limit Soldier.
He's also running New Orleans basketball now, who plays at FedEx Forum tonight. So Master P's coming in today. It's been a long time. We had him on many years ago when I was at 7:30, and so that's super cool. And the other thing is, I tweeted this out earlier. I keep calling around everywhere, and everybody keeps telling me Charles Huff, the guy from Southern Miss.
Right.
And they say he's young. He would get Memphis kids. He's the kind of guy that, relates to players nowadays,
right.
and he. I don't know. So that's
like that Southern Miss,
for what it's worth.
The Southern Miss used to be like a proud football program, and then it went through some really bad times, and he got it back to good pretty quickly. Very quickly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the idea is that, like, with the resources that Memphis has, because he's been doing it, he did it at Marshall and now Southern Miss, but if you, gave him the resources and you gave him the infrastructure, that he would – I don't know. I don't.
This is one of those where
it's not like I know everything about Charles Huff. I'm just saying there are people that I respect that think he could do a really good job here.
Yeah, this is one where I don't feel equipped to have a strong opinion about it. Like I saw some other people and somebody was like, I really like Jerry Mack. And I'm like, how do you really like Jerry Mack? Like you didn't even know Jerry Mack existed a week ago.
We did YouTube searches.
Yes.
I mean, and in fairness, right, we talked about this the other day. It's like I remember vividly being on the air when they announced the hiring of Mike Norvell and us going to Wikipedia.
Right.
I've never seen that human. I had never heard that human's name.
I know.
Ever.
Fuente, same thing.
And Mike Norvell had the most success here possible. Right? And it's like, I didn't even know. We were having to look him up. Like, who is that?
I know. And sometimes, with these guys, I can look at Wikipedia pages and bios, and I can be like, yeah, okay, this looks the part, but you don't really know until you sit down with somebody who you're dealing with. Like Larry Porter's bio looked good.
Yep.
If you would have sat down with Larry Porter, and
I actually told somebody this morning
and had a 30-minute conversation with him, I would have. You know what I would have done? I would have said, we can't hire this guy.
There's a guy I know that knows Charles Huff that I called, and he was like, before you say anything, he is not like Larry Porter. And I was like, because, a lot of times they can be player-getter guys, right? Like
yes,
a guy that really
that's clearly, I don't even mean that as an insult, but that is clearly how he made his way in this profession.
And I said, I knew Larry was in trouble, and I loved Larry but as a guy, but I knew he was in trouble when he did his opening press conference here, and he said 4 things to get this program to the next level, and he forgot number 4. I was like, oh, hell. If you only got 4, and in fact, he was like, and 4th, he's like looking around. I'm like, oh no. And he's like, strength and conditioning or whatever. He was like, oh, God.
There you go.
Oh, no.
I think I'm confused by how they sat down with Larry Porter. I'm not confused by how they got in the room with Larry Porter.
He's a Memphis alum, too.
I know, but at some point you get in a room with somebody, you should be able to. You should have been able to pick up on.
You should.
This guy is not going to be somebody who runs our football program well. Right. You should have been able to.
Some people are better equipped to be, they're soldiers and generals.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That one felt like we're down so bad we have to get the fan base back. We got to get a Memphis guy.
It just felt like, hey, here's a Memphis alum who can really recruit, and he's been on big staffs, and it made total sense. I even endorsed the hiring. I was like, this is what they should do.
Yeah, why not?
But if I'd have been in the room,
yes,
I would have held my hand up and said, "Are we sure about this?" I know it looked good.
You sure about that?
I know it looked good on paper, but now we're not on paper anymore. We're in real life, and it doesn't.
They got to get this one right, though.
Have to. There's the
So my point with the Larry Porter story isn't just to trash Larry Porter. Is to say I don't know these men that are the candidates. I've never had a conversation with any of them, so I don't know that I can have strong opinions about it. But I hope they get it right because it is important. Like people are describing it as the most important hire in Memphis history because of the realignment stuff that is sitting out there.
For sure in football history.
I do not think that is an overstatement.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like if you get this one wrong,
oh, buddy.
I mean, the whole future of your athletic department is different.
Yeah.
If you get it right, the whole future of your athletic department could be different.
That's right.
Right?
So get it right.
Truly. Yeah.
That's the job.
Hopefully.
That's the job. So get it right. Yep. All right. Chris Vernon will be in a big studio in like an hour and 5 minutes. When we come back, Turn our attention to the basketball court. Briefly, Penny Hardaway's Tigers are back at FedEx Forum tonight. Like Vernon said, they're playing New Orleans. So we'll dive into that, spend some more time on the Memphis football search, and college football playoff rankings updated last night. Ole Miss lost its coach and moved up. That don't make much sense to me, but happy for them. Happy for them, I guess. You're watching the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Calling all collectors! Topps NBA basketball trading cards are back. It's available in the Grizzlies Den by Fanatics and online at Topps.com. Rip into bold color parallels, electric inserts, relics, and autographed cards from today's biggest stars and the next gen talent. Look out for rookie cards of Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, plus Grizzlies favorites John Morant, Jalen Wells, and so many more. You don't want to miss this drop. Grab your set before it's gone.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Ortho South at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Penny Hardaway's Tigers be back inside FedEx Forum tonight, 7 o'clock. The opponent is New Orleans. Memphis is listed as a 14.5-point favorite. Tigers are, of course, trying to get back to their winning ways after a rough stretch in the Bahamas. They beat Southern Illinois last Wednesday. And now it's New Orleans tonight. KenPom's got a projected score, 82-68. You feel fine? No problems tonight? And then we get into the good part of the schedule? Or a tad bit of nervousness?
I don't feel fine. There's a tad bit of nervousness just because, the New Orleans, they started the season well. Like, they got a win at TCU and lost to LSU, then won at Tulane. And so people were like, oh, look at – and then you obviously have the Master P connection who's going to join Vernon later. And so it's like, oh, look at New Orleans. Like, what are they doing down there? Well, since then they've lost 4 in a row. And so it's like – you had to get this one. Like, it's maybe it's a better opponent than it appears on paper, but like, you got to get this one at home because it sets up a really big weekend in this building with Baylor coming to town and a chance to get a big Q1 win. So take care of business tonight.
Got to win this one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some losses in here that are hard to avoid.
Yep.
So you really need to get the ones you can get.
Yep.
And this is one you should be able to get. No disrespect to Master P, obviously, but
No, they're building something there, man. We need to already be built.
We need to already be built.
Yes.
All right. It's Memphis against New Orleans in men's basketball.
Yes. History shows.
This should go a certain way.
Yes.
If it doesn't, you got big problems.
Yep.
You might have big problems anyway, but you definitely have them if this one doesn't go favorably. After this, it's a 3-game stretch, 3 straight games against top 30 KenPom teams. Baylor at home, at Louisville, and then Vanderbilt at home. Baylor maybe a little better than expected, up to 27th at KenPom.
Okay.
And that'll be an interesting game Saturday because Baylor and Memphis, I think the number's 11. There's 365 Division I teams. I believe 11 have completely new rosters, not a single returning player. And 2 of those 11, I believe, are Memphis and Baylor. So Baylor, better than expected at Louisville. I mean, good luck.
That's going to be tough, yep.
I mean, they could put 110 on you. They're awesome.
It's a rivalry game. Rivalry renewed.
And then Vanderbilt, I bet you didn't know this. The reigning national champs are in the SEC. That's Florida. The highest paid basketball team in the country is in the SEC. That's Kentucky, $22 million reportedly. Do you know who is projected to win the SEC right now?
Is it Vandy?
Vanderbilt.
Dude, hey, shout out to them and their athletic department.
They're doing it.
Dude, they are doing it. And yesterday they just had a QB flip from Georgia. Like the
QB denied. That was a weird one. Like the QB came out and denied it, but it sounds like it's one of those it got out before he wanted to get out type of thing.
Yeah, they're doing it to that athletic department. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. They've got a team that is at least they were competing for the playoff. You know, I know the rank. We'll get to the rankings. They came out last night. It's not good news for Vanderbilt, but they've got a legitimate top 25 football program and a basketball program that's currently 11th at KenPom. They don't have like these big wins. They've beaten UCF, they've beaten VCU, they've beaten St. Mary's, but they haven't been a ranked team yet. But the efficiency numbers are like crazy good. They're beating people badly. So you've got a better than expected Baylor team, awesome Louisville team. Like if Duke wasn't Duke, Louisville would be picked to win the ACC.
Yeah.
And Louisville might still win the ACC. It looks like it's going to be a Duke-Louisville conversation. And then you got a Vanderbilt team that's projected to win the SEC.
I love that game too, by the way. I really hope that game can potentially stay on the schedule because I would tend to put it in the same boat as like the Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas. Like you can drive to it. It's a program that cares about basketball.
They do care about basketball.
Yeah, like we've gotten them when they were down, right? But they've historically been competitive and care about basketball there. So I love that series.
Yeah. Under Kevin Stallings, like that was a consistently good basketball program, and you know it's gotten off track a little bit since then. But Mark Byington seems to have it back in a great place, and I'm with you. If I remember correctly, when I was a beat writer, Memphis and Vanderbilt played home and home. Because I've covered Memphis games at Memorial Gym, which is just like a cool college.
It's a weird setup.
It's a weird setup. It's a cool, like you feel like you're at a college basketball game. You know?
Aren't the fans below the court kind of?
The benches are under the baskets.
Yeah.
So the benches are on the baselines, not where they usually are.
Yeah.
And
on the floor.
Yeah, and the crowd, and it's all packed in there. It's just an odd place. And I don't even mean odd in a bad way. I mean odd in a great way.
Unique,
It's unique. It's awesome. So I'm with you. I like any SEC. I like any Memphis basketball series, home and home, against any SEC school that is drivable. Like I wouldn't really care much about Memphis, South Carolina.
Right.
But like Memphis, Ole Miss, Memphis, Mississippi State, Memphis, Vanderbilt, Memphis, Alabama, Memphis, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis, Auburn. Any of those are
fun.
Those are fun. Not the one thing I disagreed with John Calipari about, but among the things I disagreed with him about as he ran the Memphis program was he had no use for the regional rivalries. He sort of took a a principled stance of if those SEC schools want to play Memphis, to invite us to be in the SEC. We'll play you every year, all of you. But I'm not going to allow you to come into my city, recruit this talent out of the city, have a presence in our city. I'll play a more national schedule. So he'd rather play Providence than play, Ole Miss. And I never agreed with that. I understood where he was coming from. But at the end of the day, this stuff is supposed to be entertainment. You're asking people to spend money to come downtown and see this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the more compelling matchups you can have, the better. And for Memphians and Memphis fans, whether they should or not is another conversation altogether. But Memphis fans like the idea of beating Ole Miss in anything, like the idea of beating Tennessee in anything, like the idea of beating Arkansas in anything. You care about those games. Probably because you live next door to somebody who went to one of those schools or is a fan of one of those schools, or you work with people who are fans of those schools, go to church with people who are fans of those schools. That's fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So as many of them as you can get, I would get. I love that Penny seems to have the same approach because you can look at the schedule and see, like, he's in charge of it and this is what he's putting out there. My fear is that this particular team might not be good enough to handle the schedule, but I like these regional SEC schools on it. By the way, then we'll move on. Do you see Wake Forest last night? That's the last team that beat Memphis. They got blasted at home by a not-so-good Oklahoma team.
Great.
So that's not a good sign. You know, it's not a good sign.
Great.
Anyway, 7 o'clock tonight, Memphis, New Orleans, inside FedEx Forum.
Number 2.
Memphis continues to look for its next football coach.
Yes.
There's a lot of football coaches getting hired.
South Florida just hired one.
USF just hired theirs. I saw at Kansas State, they got a retirement and then filled that within minutes. Like, coach announced his retirement and they had the new coach lined up like 45 seconds later. So things are popping. But Memphis, as of this moment being 11:06 a.m. Central, Memphis still does not have a football coach. But Bruce Feldman over at The Athletic, he put out a candidates list.
Okay. What you got, Bruce?
Okay, let's see. I do think this is interesting to look at just because Bruce Feldman's plugged in. You know, he talks to these agents. He knows these people. And if he's putting – it's interesting to see who he puts on a list, in what order he puts them, and who he omits from it. So let's just start with who he omits from it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Hugh Freeze, and there is no Dan Mullen on this list. It doesn't mean that the next head coach at Memphis couldn't be Hugh Freeze or Dan Mullen, the former Ole Miss coach and the former Mississippi State coach. Dan, of course, now at UNLV. Hugh just relieved of his duties at Auburn. But I did notice that Bruce Feldman didn't even put them on the list of candidates. As somebody who's made these types of lists before, something that's always said in Slack probably is like, you see the list and you do the list and then you submit the list to somebody and you have your colleagues look over it. Hey, what do you think?
Yep.
And somebody says, hey, are you sure? Like, what about Hugh Freeze? What about Dan Mullen? And then if you're Bruce Feldman, at that point you say, hey, yeah, I hear where you're coming from, but just they're not getting that job. That's not happening. So I'm not putting them on the list. Like, that is the way these lists get made. And so it's always interesting to see who is omitted, and I thought it was notable that Bruce Feldman omitted both of those coaches.
I think the Dan Mullen one, to me, because I saw Memphis fans and UNLV fans arguing a lot last night, and I think the Dan Mullen one, to me, feels like, because that would be great. He's a great coach. But I wonder if he's just like, I'm winning here, I'll chill here, and then when, the SEC job comes open.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
I mean, Dan Mullen can do whatever he wants, and I think he'd be a fine coach here. But it doesn't seem like you need to go. If your goal is to get the big boy job again, the power conference job again,
then I'll just keep winning at UNLV.
You can get that from UNLV. I don't think you got to go to Memphis and then be good at Memphis to then pop back into the SEC or the Big Ten.
Right.
I mean, Dan Wolken yesterday suggested him for Penn State because that's a disaster. They don't know what they're doing. And Dan Wolken was like, I would just hire Dan Mullen. Like, he is a competent coach who.
Oh, I think he's a good coach. Yeah.
Yes. Like, I think it just. Sometimes these guys get these jobs and it just goes sideways on them, and then it just overwhelms them, and then it's a quick trigger. Like these fan bases and administrations and chancellors and there's just they get caught up in the emotion of it. It's just like fire this MFer, and then it's like, all right, but now what do we do? Now we got to hire Billy Napier,
right?
Did we they paid a lot of money to get rid of Dan Mullen to hire Billy Napier,
and it did not work.
Well, who do you think was
right?
And you know who just did the same thing? Penn State. Whoever they hire, they're going to look up in a week and go, we paid how much money to get rid of James Franklin to replace him with who did we just hire again?
Yep. Why do you think Mike Norvell's still at FSU?
Yeah, and he might not make it through next season, but
he's going to turn it around though. I still believe that dude is a great football coach.
I think sometimes you might just have to divorce from a bad situation, but like he'll get the next place, he'll be good. And I bet James Franklin's going to be good at Virginia. These guys are good football coaches.
Right.
I mean, Brian Kelly is probably going to be good somewhere again, you know?
Yes.
So, like, these guys are good football coaches.
No, you've said this about the SEC and how it is now. Like, it's all good coaches are just going to keep getting fired in that league. Yeah, because someone's got to finish last place in that league.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, good guys who did enough at some point in their career to get incredible contracts don't become stupid overnight. It's just that you lose somebody you didn't expect to lose. Injury over here.
Now Vanderbilt's good in beating people. That used to be a win on our.
You've got a locker room problem that materializes, and then it just gets. I don't think Mike Norvell is any dumber than he was when he was literally the national coach of the year at Florida State. That's the thing. Like people look at Mike Norvell and they're like, "Man, I can't believe it didn't work." Like it was working, and then his quarterback got hurt, and it's been hell ever since.
Right.
But yeah, I back to Dan Mullen. I think he's a good football coach.
Yeah.
It just went sideways on him at Florida. He's already doing good things at UNLV. I certainly wouldn't mind Dan Mullen being the next head coach at the University of Memphis, but I would assume somebody tells him you don't have to move again to get the next big job. Do this one more year at UNLV, and that the next big job will be there. And you know, it might be there in 3 days.
Right.
You know, we'll see. So
those were off his list.
Bruce Feldman didn't even mention Dan Mullen. He did not mention Hugh Freeze. He did mention Tyson Helton.
Okay.
Formerly on staff at Memphis, 48 years old, at Western Kentucky. He did mention Charles Huff. That's who Chris said he's hearing a lot of people talking about as it pertains to the Memphis search. 42 years old. I mean, again, I don't want to contradict myself. I don't know this guy, all right? But I can read his Wikipedia page, and there's a lot of stuff on that it checks a lot of boxes. He's worked for incredible coaches. He worked at Alabama, Penn State. So he's been at big-time football universities. He knows what it looks like. He knows how these things are run. And then he won a conference championship at Marshall as the head coach. And that allowed him to get the Southern Miss job. And at Southern Miss, over the past 2 years, they had won a total of 4 games. And he won 7 in his first year at Southern Miss. So here's a young guy who has worked at some of the biggest football brands in the country as an assistant for some of the best coaches in the country. And then when he got his own head coaching opportunity, he, by year 4, while enduring a conference change, won a conference championship, and then bounced to Southern Miss and flipped things in Hattiesburg in year 1. So when I say checks a lot of boxes, has worked at big brands, has worked for great people, and has had success as a head coach at 2 different places. So this isn't one like you can say he won a conference championship at Marshall and you go, yeah, but everybody wins a conference championship at Marshall. Or like he did something good at this place. And it's like, yeah, but everybody does something good at that place. He's taken 2 bad situations and made them better. And one of them he turned into a conference champion. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that is good stuff. I mean, for me, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know, but the one thing that I value and hope that it goes this way is I do hope that they get a guy that's a head coach. That's a current head guy, because I know it didn't matter with Fuente and with Norvell. You just got like the hot recruiter, and they got that right. I just think the stakes are so high right now. It would just make me feel more comfortable if it's a guy that has head coaching experience,
where you're not asking somebody who's never done something to do something they've never done.
Right.
Like you would be asking Charles Huff, "Hey, you know how you won games at Marshall, won a conference championship outside of the traditional power structure, and then you went to Southern Miss and, won games there too? Come do that here. Come do what you've been doing there. Do it here. But
we got more money for you.
We've got more money for you.
Yeah.
We've got better resources. We're going to, buddy, if you can win at Marshall and you can win at Southern Miss, you ain't going to believe what you're going to be able to do at Memphis." That makes sense to me. I don't draw any hard lines, though. I would have no rules as I embark on this coaching search if I were Ed Scott. By that, I wouldn't say I need somebody who's won in, as a head coach before, or I need somebody with local ties, or I need somebody who's, worked at Memphis before, or I just want the most awesome guy. Like, Dan Lanning was an assistant coach until he was a head coach.
Yep.
And, buddy, that seems to be, now he might be the best.
Yep.
Right? So if it's somebody with head coaching experience, fine with me. And you can find some calmness in, this guy's not doing things for the very first time, which by definition, if you hire somebody who's never been a head coach, they are doing things that they've never done before. That's not a rule for me. Like if the best candidate if I go through this process and I talk to all these people and the best candidate has never been a head coach before, fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't have any prerequisites.
That's fair. I do think it's interesting that they haven't made a hire yet, because it suggests to me it could be someone who's still coaching. Just because you're seeing a lot of hires being made this week. So I think that, maybe you can read between lines, but they've known even before this season started, you probably had an idea, because there were high expectations coming into the season, that Ryan Silverfield was going to be a head coaching candidate somewhere else.
Sure.
So I'm sure Ed Scott has had his list for a long time.
I am confident in that. I do think it is perhaps complicated by the idea that it is true there was a moment in the season where it looked like, you really might lose Ryan Silverfield.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment wasn't Sunday morning. I think it's we had Jonah Dillon in here yesterday.
That's right. Because I was surprised.
He said this came together really quickly.
The Arkansas thing for Silverfield. Yeah.
I mean, he the way Jonah put it was Arkansas was probably focused on Alex Golesh. But when Golesh realized he could get Auburn, then you don't take Arkansas. And then Arkansas has to pivot to Silverfield, which, as of Saturday night, there's a scenario where you don't think you're losing your coach at the University of Memphis. And then on Sunday you do. I'm sure Ed was prepared for the moment, but I don't know if a week prior, I don't know on Thanksgiving Day, let's just put it this way, that Ed Scott knew he was going to be doing a coaching search on Sunday, because most of the world didn't seem to know that he was going to be needing to do a coaching search on Sunday. So probably prepared, broadly speaking, but, oh, wow, this is what I'm doing today? Just lost our coach to Arkansas? According to Jonah, at least, that came together pretty quickly. So either way, they'll have a coach probably sooner rather than later. Timing does matter because of, signing day.
Yes.
So timing does matter.
They did sign a couple guys yesterday or today. I saw the stuff coming out.
So they'll hire somebody, I would assume, soon, and it'll probably be one of the candidates that is in this piece at The Athletic. Just continuing with it, Kennesaw State's Jerry Mack, the Memphis native, is in there. Again, he's another guy that checks a lot of boxes. I don't need somebody with local connections. I don't need somebody with anything other than the ability to be an awesome head coach at the University of Memphis, and that can look like anything to me. Is he in his 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? I don't care. Where has he worked? I have no prerequisites. But
damn, he almost won at Wake Forest to start the year.
But I don't mind that Jerry Mack's from Memphis. Like I like that. If he's the best candidate, I will go, yeah, he's the best candidate and happens to be from Memphis. That's wonderful. So I like that aspect of it, but it's not a determining factor for me. But he's got the Wikipedia page that looks good, and 45 years old, has worked on the campus before, so very familiar with it. He's an obvious candidate and one whose name has gotten a lot of attention. The Memphis offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsey, if you were going to do that, you would already do that.
Yes,
I think so.
And he's not even the interim coach. So
yeah. So that might just be you throw somebody in there as a favor type of thing.
Yeah.
But like if you're going to do that, given the circumstance, given where they are right now, that wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Right. So and then there's Dennis Simmons, a Memphis native, on staff with Lincoln Riley at USC. Anthony Jones, another Memphis product whose name is listed here. But Charles Huff, Jerry Mack, those are the two names that seem to be getting a lot of attention. Hey, we'll keep.
I could get excited about either of them.
Hey, I could just get it right. I don't
Just
care.
get it right.
I don't care
That's
who
right.
it is.
That's right.
I don't care who it is, but you need to get it right because just to expand on this point. Obviously, it's important anytime you're hiring a football coach at a school where football is supposed to be a revenue producer. It's an important hire.
Yes.
You could argue this is the most important hire because the next best bet for Memphis to get on the right side of the realignment rope is when the ACC contracts are up. That's just a few years from now.
Yes.
There's real thought within the industry that at that point, the biggest brands in the ACC will move to probably either the Big Ten or the SEC. Talk to 5 different people, you get 5 different combinations of how it would work. But imagine something like North Carolina and Virginia going to the Big Ten and Clemson and Florida State going to the SEC. I'm just making these up.
Yeah, I got
Don't
you.
quote me. I'm just
No.
But something like that. And then there's some spots open in the ACC, and the ACC feels like it's got to add somebody. And even though a league with Stanford and Cal is not going to be in love with Memphis's academics, there are schools in the ACC that are more similar to Memphis than they are Stanford and Cal, right? And that would be Louisville, Virginia Tech. These are schools that Memphis used to be in a league with anyway. So the idea here, if the question is, so how does Memphis ever get out of this league that they never actually win? How do they ever get out of it? The best answer is when the ACC schools leave and the ACC has to regroup, you're an obvious candidate for that because of all the corporate partners you can bring to the table, but also because you've got a nationally recognized basketball program and a nationally recognized football program. In this moment right now, people see Memphis as the best group of 5 or group of 6 option out there. In other words, what is the best athletic department? If you just had to add one, what's the best athletic department to add outside of schools from the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, Big 12, and Big East? And most people say that is Memphis. So if these ACC schools were breaking away today, you'd be in a pretty good spot because today people consider Memphis the best option. And that's not just people from Memphis. That's Dan Wolken, that's Ross Dellinger, that's Pete Thamel. Most of them, broadly speaking, view Memphis as the best of the best. Will it still be true in 3 years, 4 years? Will it still be true when the ACC breaks apart a little bit and needs new members? I hope so, but I don't know that because there was a time when we would talk realignment stuff and it was like, well, if this conference ever needs a new program and this conference ever needs a new program, you know the one they're going to go get because they're awesome at football, consistently ranked, and they're in Florida. Got to get into Florida. Every league wants to get into Florida. All the recruits are in Florida. You know the league, the school that these leagues are going to be fighting over? USF. That's what they said. Because Jim Levitt had USF at a certain level. It was Florida. It was consistently ranked. Major market, Tampa.
Yep.
But then what happened? Football went Suddenly you're not attractive anymore. That
That's
major
right.
market, Florida base, all that stuff only mattered if the football was good. So you got to keep the football good.
Yes. Very important. Winning is very important.
The fact that every league collectively just passed over USF, given that there was a moment where you couldn't imagine power conferences passing over South Florida for Houston.
Right.
Or Central Florida.
Oh, they were winning the Big East once upon a time. Yeah.
And now South Florida is stuck with us. You know? So it is awesome that most people view Memphis for
Not
a lot of
stuck
different.
with us. We're friends.
Neither one of us want to be stuck with each other.
I would gladly be stuck with them.
Not here.
No, I mean I want to stay together somewhere else.
I'd be fine.
Yes.
I don't care.
You want to leave them behind?
Yeah, I don't need to leave them behind, but I
want to go hand in hand.
I don't. That does not matter to me at all. It's awesome right now in this moment that everybody seems to think, or most people seem to think, Memphis is the best option outside of the power structure if anybody inside of the power structure ever needs to add. That's a great place to be. But think of it as a football game. We're in the first quarter of that. Are you still going to be that in the fourth quarter? When it actually breaks, are you still going to be in position where the ACC looks at you and goes, we got to add somebody, and that's the best one?
Yeah.
That's how important this hire is. You've got to get it right for obvious reasons. You're going into a renovated stadium. Like, all of this stuff is important, but it's especially important because you have got to maintain your position in the hierarchy of college athletics so that when somebody needs to add, the most sensible thing they can do is add you. And the best way to ensure that remains true, absolutely keep all the corporate sponsorships and partners in line, on board, but also be good at football. Be good at football.
Yes.
And if you don't hire the right guy, being good in football can get difficult.
Number 3.
The college football playoff rankings came out last night.
Okay.
Ole Miss moved up to number 6. Good for them. But as a professional ranker, I'm a professional ranker.
I know you are.
I'm compelled to tell you that makes no sense to me. How can you lose your coach and move up? And I know it's because other things happened, but by definition, Ole Miss is better positioned today in the college football playoff than it was a week ago, based on what the college football playoff committee told us last night. Does that make any sense to you?
Not really, I guess. Not really.
I mean, you can't tell me Lane Kiffin is the most desirable coach in the country and then also tell me he doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, maybe they give him points because they already hired the new coach and he's a part of this. He was a part of this. Maybe that's
I don't know. It's just
continuity.
It's just logically inconsistent. The face and voice of this thing now is Hunter Yurchik, the Arkansas AD, because the Baylor AD was the chair and he resigned from everything. So
they hired the Arkansas guy?
They just moved him from, he was on the committee.
Oh, he was on the committee. Gotcha.
The Arkansas AD was on the committee, and then the committee chair removed himself. So they got to have a new committee chair, and they were like, Hunter, will you do it? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And
cool.
So there we are. But he had sort of tipped his hand a bit earlier in the week when asked about it. He had said, we don't believe we will punish Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves. Like, we don't believe. Like, we would look at the results and we'd look at their body of work and we would judge them accordingly, implying that with Lane Kiffin, without Lane Kiffin, we look at Ole Miss exactly the same. Just 2 years ago, they by their own admission, pushed Florida State out of the playoff. Now, it was only a 4-team, but pushed undefeated Florida State out of the playoff because the quarterback got hurt. The argument was quite literally, Florida State with its starting quarterback is good enough to be in this playoff and deserves to be in, but they just lost their quarterback. It's unfortunate. It's nobody's fault, but they just lost their quarterback. Now we have to evaluate them without their quarterback, and they're not the same team, so they're left out. Why wouldn't you apply that exact same logic to the Ole Miss situation? Are you telling me that losing a quarterback matters, but losing a coach doesn't? I won't even argue that losing a coach matters more than losing a quarterback because one's on the field, one's not.
Right.
But they both matter, and you have A committee chair last night telling us the Lane Kiffin thing doesn't. After 2 years ago, they told us the Florida State quarterback thing did. It's just logically inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy for Ole Miss, so I won't rant and rave too much about it.
I'm happy for him, too.
I'm happy for Ole Miss.
I'm going to be rooting for him.
I think the whole country is going to be rooting for them.
Yeah.
Outside LSU fans, I guess.
Plucky little underdogs.
The plucky little rebels. So I'm happy for them, but I find the whole thing logically inconsistent. The projected matchup right now would be Virginia at Ole Miss. Virginia at Ole Miss in a first-round playoff game. And based off of current projections, the winner of that would play Georgia in what amounts to the Elite Eight of the college football playoff. Another headline connected to this yesterday, Charlie Weis Jr. comes back from LSU and is going to coach Ole Miss, help coach Ole Miss throughout the playoff.
But then go back to LSU.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the subject of logically inconsistent, does this make sense to you?
No.
Among the arguments for telling Lane Kiffin, if you're going to LSU, go now, some of it's rooted in an Ole Miss man will coach Ole Miss, right? But some of it is, you would be crazy, you've heard everybody say this, to let an LSU coach, the LSU coach, be around the Ole Miss program for another month. Like that's, I know they think they're better than you, but you consider them a rival. You're in the same league. And you're going to let the LSU coach be around your players for a month. No way. You can't do that.
No.
And most people seem to agree with that, except for Lane Kiffin. And I guess Nick Saban on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Practically speaking, what's the difference here? You're letting an LSU coach come be around your players. You don't want Lane Kiffin around your players, but you want Lane Kiffin's right-hand man around your players for the next month.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, no.
Now, I do understand that there is a striking a balance, and it's a difficult balance to strike if you're Keith Carter, I think. So I'm not being critical. I hope it doesn't come across that way. It's just I thought it was interesting. I guess you do have to strike a balance of, all right, we told everybody, if you're going to LSU, go now. And then we watched the people who went go, and when we looked up, and it's like, shit, we don't have coaches anymore. Like, F Lane Kiffin and all that stuff, but we are still trying to win a playoff game.
Yes.
And we just lost lots of coaches. And if Charlie Weis Jr. is willing to come back to help, and Lane is willing to let him come back and help, I don't love the whole having an LSU coach in my facilities for the next month. But I also do think I kind of need to put my players in a position to have the best opportunity they can to win. And I've already taken that away from them on some level by telling Lane, no, you can't coach this team. I've already, by definition, taken something away from my players. Now, the players have come out and basically said, Lane Kiffin's full of shit. The idea that we all stood up and were like, just let Lane Kiffin coach? No way. That's just not the way this went down. Most of the players seem to say, we wanted him to go too, right? They were tired of this. They feel like he's just misled them and after the fact, lied about how everything went down. So if you're Keith Carter, regardless of what the players wanted, I don't think anybody would argue that in a vacuum, you're a better football team with Lane Kiffin in front of it than otherwise, right? That's why LSU just paid him all this money.
Yeah.
So if you're Keith Carter, you're like, okay, we've already lessened that. I don't love the idea of Charlie Weis coming back here, but I also want to put my players in a position to succeed, and he probably helps us, gives us a better chance to succeed. Like, how do you strike that balance? I don't know. It's not. I don't envy any of this. I know we've talked about it a lot. I have opinions about how it should have gone down, but don't ever get it twisted. All of this was very complicated, and there were a lot of hard decisions that had to be made along the way, and this is probably among the latest ones, but I did find it interesting. Like, you don't want Lane Kiffin around your players, but like, this guy is going to be on the phone with Lane Kiffin every day, you know, and then he's going to be in your facilities around your players every single day. I remember when John Calipari left here, I guess it was either Josh Pastner had just got the job. I want to say Josh had been named the head coach, and two of the coaches that went with Cal to Kentucky had come back to Memphis to like get their stuff, clear out their offices. That was the way it was framed, if I remember this story correctly. This is the way it was told to me. And they come back to like, hey, we got to get our stuff out. We got some stuff to pick up, so we're just going to come by the facility. And somebody walked in like one of the offices, and the two assistant coaches who were already at Kentucky were like very clearly like they were talking to Memphis players. And the implication was they were trying to get them to flip.
Yeah.
And I heard it got a little uncomfortable, like between people who now worked at Memphis and people who used to work at Memphis. And they were like, yo, what are you doing, man? This is not okay. Like, listen, I know we used to work together and we're brothers and all that, but like, this is not okay. Like, this is my team now. And this is my program now. And what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I know what you're doing and you know what you're doing. That's not cool. And it got, so like.
So Wesley Witherspoon is who you're talking about. I can do process of elimination on everyone who stayed behind.
You know who I actually you want me to look and tell you who I actually think it was? His name does not, I can't grab it right now, but let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like the guys that stayed and played with Josh, because that first season, remember, he got Elliott Williams to come here because his mom was sick, and so he wanted to be closer to home.
Right.
And that was the best player. Witherspoon was the big Cal recruit that stayed.
Okay, I'm looking at the rosters. I can't pull it. I mean, I think I know who it is, but I don't want to get it wrong.
Fair enough,
I don't want to get it wrong. But that was my understanding, is that somebody walked in on what was clearly a meeting that should not have been happening.
Gotcha.
And it rubbed some people the wrong way. How are you going to avoid that at Ole Miss? Because even the perception of it is going to be hard to avoid. Like, you just walk in a room and there's Charlie Weiss Jr. sitting down with your running back, and you're like, well, what are they talking about? Are they game planning, or are they looking for apartments in Baton Rouge? You know, it's an awkward situation. But a lot of people around that university have had to make hard decisions over the past few weeks, and this seems like another hard one. I don't know that I would have made the same one, but I do understand. Like, at some point, you got to have coaches, and if the guy's willing to come back and do it, and Lane's willing to allow him to do it, maybe this is actually the best thing.
Number 4.
Fun night in college basketball last night. I don't know if you saw much of it, because the Grizzlies were playing the Spurs, but we had multiple screens going, and Cameron Boozer went big again. 29 points in a win over Florida. The Duke freshman is like, if you look at some of the advanced stats stuff that these computers pop out, I don't know how they compute most of this stuff, but like they do spit out numbers. He's basically Cooper Flagg. Like, if Cooper Flagg was the best freshman in the country last season, and he clearly was, he was the best player and one of the best freshmen in modern history, just know that Cameron Boozer is already like comparable. Very different players, but he is just a monster. And even, Duke was down a couple points in the final minute, and Isaiah Evans hits a wide open three. But the reason it was a wide open three is because Cameron Boozer set the ball screen, and both players go with him because they're so concerned about him. So Isaiah Evans just ends up with a wide open three because Cameron Boozer's, two went with him. Two players went with him. So he is awesome. Duke looks like a championship contender again. And like we've talked about before, for a while, most people have assumed Darren Peterson or A.J. DeBonsa would be the number one pick in the draft, even though Cameron Boozer was the 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. People just looked at Peterson and DeBonsa and decided they have a higher ceiling in the ways that you look at things as it pertains to NBA prospects. And that still might be true, but it seems like more of a conversation. Like, I don't care what franchise we're talking about. They all have big boards. And wherever Cameron Boozer was on yours a month ago, you've got to, if he wasn't number one, you've got to go back and take a look at it, because he is just statistically dominant. I mean, the Player of the Year race right now, KenPom has a formula for it, and it's not even close. It's like he's like Cooper Flagg and nobody else is even in the neighborhood. Like if you did National Player of the Year voting right now and there were a 100 ballots, it should be 100 of 100.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sensible alternative candidate for National Player of the Year right now than Cameron Boozer at Duke. So he was a star in a win over Florida. Elsewhere, we had North Carolina go into Kentucky and win. Kentucky, $22 million payroll. And they're 5-3.
Man.
And
their coach already had the press conference talking about how disappointed he was and everything prior to this.
And now you're losing home games to North Carolina. It looks like they just bought a bunch of talented players and it does not fit. They've got chemistry problems. Like Jalen Lowe, their point guard, is out with a shoulder injury, but there's other stuff going on there where it doesn't seem like everybody that needs to be happy is happy. And then Jaden Quaintance, their best NBA prospect, is still hurt. They paid him a lot of money to rehab and hopefully play.
Mm-hmm.
And he is expected to play, but he hasn't played yet. So they got real problems at Kentucky. Like it's a little bit like the Jaren Jackson contract. When this money gets attached to you and then it doesn't go well, that number gets brought up.
Yes.
So for Jaren, you get 7 points and a loss to the Spurs, people start mentioning your contract. For Kentucky, you go 5-3 to start the season. People start talking about they spent how much money on that team?
Right.
The number, again, $22 million. Keep in mind, Ohio State's football last year was about that. But that's like for 80 players, 90 players. This is a much smaller roster.
Yeah.
I mean, they got nothing but multimillionaires on the roster.
Crazy.
Which I think also probably causes problems.
You've got to assume
they probably
yeah.
got a millionaire on their bench who's not happy.
No, I'm making a ton of money. I should be playing heavy minutes.
And then let me ask you what happens when this happens. All right, this is my last year of eligibility. I'm not playing the role I wanted to play. If I keep playing, then I'll just have a role I don't want, and this is my last year of eligibility. Or I could shut it down.
Because that's getting close, right?
I could shut it down.
Yeah.
I could preserve my year of eligibility, enter the transfer portal at the end of the season, go get paid again, and see if it goes better next time. So, yeah, that's a thing that happens in college basketball now, too.
And it's going to, don't you think that specific scenario you're pointing out, that's why eventually it's going to have to become like a contract thing where there's stipulations, like you can't sit out, you have to play to get this money. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because these contracts, when they were being written by collectives, they were like so vague because they were scared of getting caught up in like pay for play stuff. And then they got screwed because players were just taking their money and like leaving.
Yes.
Like, there is one player who signed with a Big Ten program, basketball player. I know this for a fact. Signed with the Big Ten program. Like, $800,000, something like that. And then literally went and signed with another Big Ten program.
Like, I wouldn't even
took the money from this school and then went over here.
I wouldn't even be surprised, GP, is if you got to the point where you're putting in these contracts, you have to average a certain number to get the full amount of money that we're going to give you.
Well, I mean, they are more or less independent contractor contracts. You can make them say whatever you want as long as the other side agrees to it. But think about that. Big Ten school signs a player. The player took their money. And then he literally was on a visit at another Big Ten school. And this Big Ten school was like, what in the world? So this coach tells me, I even picked up the phone and called the other school because we know each other. We're in the same league. And I was like, yo, you know that, it's not just that we signed him. We have a legal binding contract. And the other school was like, yeah, so do we. Let's let the lawyers figure it out. And so this one Big Ten school is like, well, what do we do now? And I think they're legally pursuing the money.
Get the money back, yeah.
But it's this is where we're at.
Wild.
Yes.
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Right? It's all nutty. So Kentucky's got their problems. UConn went into Kansas and won. Darren Peterson didn't play. Darren Peterson did not play. There's some speculation now that he's just going to shut it down. I don't believe that. I think he's just got a hamstring injury.
Okay.
He's just got a hamstring injury, and you got to be super careful with those. And I bet he's back within the next 2 weeks, but it was disappointing that he didn't play last night. And then Tennessee got upset at Syracuse. So
they rushed the court.
It's been a minute since the Orange have had the last years of Jim Boeheim weren't good.
Right.
And the first years of Red Autry have not been good. And so that program's been down a little bit. They even had big wins in that building in a while, not consistently. And so maybe that's a turning point for them. I don't know. They just had lost 3 straight. But now Tennessee's lost 2 straight. So Rick Barnes got some stuff to figure out in Knoxville. Awesome night of college basketball last night. ACC-SEC Challenge was the main attraction. ACC went 6-3 last night, and it continues a little later on today.
Number 5.
Announced this morning, 5 men are nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, class of 2026, and 2 of the 5 are Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft.
Okay, they did that on purpose.
They don't like each other.
No.
Like, they banned each other from each other's things. Like, the Patriots can't come to North Carolina, and Bill Belichick can't go to New England. Like, it's crazy.
I need this. We need this.
They have to stand on stage and pretend like they like each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what that would be. That is 2 men where everybody knows. It's a little bit like when you would see John Calipari and Rick Pitino. They would try to fake it with each other.
Yeah.
They would be like, they'd shake hands and slap each other and smile, and one of them would whisper something, and the other one would laugh real loud, and you they hate each other. Yeah. All right, it's always fake. They hate each other. And that might have lessened a little bit over the years. I think as you age, some of that stuff can age out. But like, there were times where I can just tell you they hated each other, but in public, you never saw it. They were always smiling. Oh yeah, like Rick's a mentor, and oh John, I see a lot of John, and But they did not like each other. And that's what this is. Like, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick do not like each other.
Now, we have seen them be cordial before at the Tom Brady roast. So they can play nice. They can play nice in public.
They can play nice in public.
Yeah.
But even they, like, get a little twisted up in the storytelling. They don't tell they tell the same stories, but they tell them wildly differently.
Right.
So, like, Bill Belichick still to this day will not say that he was fired by the Patriots, even though it's clear that he was. He says, yeah, we mutually agreed to part ways. And it's like, not really. That's not really how that happened.
That's not how that happened.
No, but he, like, can't say it out loud.
Right.
Even when you bring it to him and you're like, hey, were you upset when the Patriots decided to move on from you? He can't even be like, of that was, or it hurt. He's like, that didn't happen. We mutually agreed to part ways. He can't, like, so there's still tension there. It'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I hope Jordan's there. Jordan Hudson.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Hope she shows up.
I hope Brady's there. I'm sure he will be.
Of course he would be.
Brady will be there.
Of course he would be.
Yeah.
Brady loves, I don't know how Brady feels about Belichick, but he loves Robert Kraft.
Of course.
Like, he almost fought a comedian at the roast, not over anything anybody said about his ex-wife.
No, it was about the
It was about Robert Kraft.
The massage parlor.
Yeah, like he was going to fight somebody about a Robert Kraft joke, but like, hey, get all your Giselle jokes off. You could talk about the mother of my children as much as you want, but don't talk about my ex-owner who,
got a little tug.
Well, Bennett, that's one way to put it.
Can I say that?
Can you say got a little tug? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Be back with Carry Out.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of over $550,000 in free play and a brand new Lincoln. Here Comes Santa takes flight on Saturday, November 1st, when you can begin earning entries. And don't forget the grand finale drawings on Saturday, November 29th and Saturday, December 27th to win a share of over $40,000 in free play or a brand new Lincoln. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Forget to defend your home court from pests with Terminex. Before cockroaches, spiders, and mice show up, Terminex it with the pest-free 365-plus year-round protection plan. Visit Terminex.com today and enter code SAVE50 at checkout to save $50. Terms apply. Now let's carry out.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Okay. Revisiting old Memphis rosters. Yeah. Here's what I believe. Okay. Don't quote me on this. All right? Don't put this on the internet anywhere. But the way I remember it, and we're talking about this because of Charlie Weiss Jr. going back to Ole Miss. He works for LSU now, but he will coach at Ole Miss throughout the playoff. The way I remember it, the Memphis coaches who were at Kentucky with Cal came back to like get their stuff from the facility and then got caught talking to, I believe it was C.J. Henry. And it obviously wasn't about him as much as it was about Xavier.
Xavier's brother. And Xavier went to Kansas, right? Like
went to Kansas, but he was going to come here.
That's right.
And then ended up going to Kansas. But the way the story was told to me is they were clearly talking to CJ, seeing if they could maybe get him and his brother to both come to Kentucky, something like that. So it was something a lot. But that's exactly why when you hear people say, I don't want LSU coaches back on my campus, this is why you don't want LSU coaches back on your campus. They're going to do it because they got to have coaches to get through this playoff. But the reason you don't do it is because you don't know what every conversation entails. Like somebody's going to walk in a room and they're going to see Charlie Weiss talking to an important Ole Miss player and wonder,
what are they talking about?
What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Are they preparing for a first-round playoff game, or are they looking for homes in Baton Rouge? What are they talking? It's just it creates that level of uncomfortability. Beyond that, moving on. Breaking news this morning. Remember I told you that Arkansas Duke game would do a crazy number on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
Following Cowboys Chiefs on CBS. Crazy number. 6.8 million viewers. It is the most watched regular season college basketball game on any network in more than 30 years.
I will be interested. Obviously, we got to win tonight, take care of business, but I will be interested to see the Memphis Baylor number because that's coming on after an NFL game.
Those are, yeah. I mean, you just get it. It's just like the highest rated local newscast is always going to be like after the Super Bowl, after the game one of the NBA Finals, game one of the World Series. When you got these incredible lead-ins, people just stick around.
Yep.
And yeah, if you got an NFL lead-in, you're gonna have eyeballs on whatever follows it.
What's today's biggest game?
Take you to Bud Walton Arena, 6:15 Central. It's on ESPN. Louisville at Arkansas. Louisville is a 3.5-point favorite on the road. How you gonna act?
Man, I'll go Louisville. I don't feel great about it, but I think I'll go Louisville.
Laying 3.5 in a tough road environment is tough. But Louisville is the better basketball team here.
Yeah.
I like this Louisville team a lot.
I mean, they're 7-0. You can't argue with that.
They got a one-and-done point guard, shooters all over the court. They play fast. They shoot a ton of threes. About every other shot, more than every other shot comes from three. Good basketball team.
I want to change.
Okay.
I'm going Arkansas. Call the Hogs, y'all.
Bennett said he's
Shout
calling
out
the
Coach
Hogs.
Cal.
And Coach Silverfield.
And Coach Silverfield, of course.
Probably get introduced tonight.
By the way, I want to, because we were very quick in that open coming in on Monday, and I didn't get to say like everything that I really wanted to.
I apologize.
Well, no, I just wanted to say that I'm like happy for Brian Silverfield, and I think he's going to surprise people at Arkansas.
I'm happy.
I just wanted to throw that in.
I'm happy
there.
for Brian Silverfield too. He'll probably be introduced to the Bud Walton crowd tonight. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully that goes well.
What if they boo? That would be. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That would be. They would never.
Don't do that.
No, they're excited and listen.
He flipped a couple recruits, and that's all it takes.
And he's got them fired up. I mean, Ryan's good at getting them. Yeah, he just is. I've seen the clips.
He's
like they're excited about him.
He's the head hog now. He's the head hog
Good
now.
for him.
All right. Bennett's taking the Hogs plus the 3.5.
What are we watching on TV?
Have you watched the new Kevin Hart special on Netflix? It dropped last week, and it's remained in the top 10 at Netflix.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Is it funny?
Yes.
Really?
Kevin Hart's funny.
Is he?
You don't think Kevin Hart's funny? I used to have this opinion of Kevin Hart, so I'm not even trying to shame you. But like, I'd be like, yeah, he's just kind of like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
He makes goofy movies, and he's that guy.
I do think he's funny.
Like, the stand-up stuff's good.
But I've never really watched the stand-up stuff.
The latest
the
one,
old stuff before he became uber famous.
This special I thought was good. It was called Acting My Age. It dropped on Netflix last week.
Okay.
He like the first however many minutes, he's talking about some of the stuff we talk about sometimes, which is like, man, you just hurt. You don't even know why. I can't move my shoulder. I have no idea
he's
why.
Doing the old guy thing. Okay, good.
Yeah. It was good.
I bet I'll like it then.
From start to finish, I thought Kevin Hart delivered a good hour of stand-up comedy. So if you haven't watched it yet and you're interested at all, you can find it. It's still a top 10 movies right now at Netflix.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
Bruce Feldman's got that Memphis coaching search piece over at The Athletic. So if you're a Memphis football fan wanting to more familiarize yourself with possible candidates, that's where you need to go. Find Bruce Feldman's article over at The Athletic.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Thursday. Michael Wallace will join us. We'll look back at Memphis, New Orleans. Get ready for Thursday night football. Cowboys Lions should be a fun day. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful.